Cool out. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a couple of things from this last episode of Belle Collective. The first thing would be SoGucci and her daughter with this whole Selena and Sanjay are jealous of them thing. It's so aggravating. It's aggravating and it's annoying because I don't feel that it's true. Now, I was not a fan of Dancing Dolls. I think that's the name of it, DD4L. I'm not going to say I wasn't a fan of it. I just didn't watch the show. Like, I didn't follow the stories through. I would see snippets of it, little clips, and I would watch that, and I enjoyed it. But I wasn't invested in the show. Selena doesn't give me that she's jealous of SoGucci. There has been a couple of interviews that's been done by SoGucci and her daughter, and their main thing is, Selena they were on TV first. They got a fan base. People know them. People like them, but now it's our turn. So that doesn't give me that Selena and Sanjay are jealous of SoGucci and her daughter. That gives me that you guys may be feeling the type of way about them, and now you want to project your feelings onto them. So Gucci's daughter did a live, and in that live, that girl said a lot of things, but there were two things that stuck out to me. Three. One, that her mama decided to neglect her own kids to raise JJ's children. That would have lead some resentment for SoGucci's daughter towards Sanjay and her sisters. Two, that when the girls were on TV, that they got a lot of attention, and that people that's coming and watching the show, like them from their dance show, but this ain't it. A lot of resentment, a lot of jealousy. That's what I see. And three, she confirmed that she did tell Selena at one point, "I wish you were my mom." She said it just to be saying it. No, honey, you said that because that's what you meant. So when SoGucci said that Selena wasn't a part of those children's lives, that's a lie. She was so much so a part of it that your own daughter wanted for this lady to be her mama because you weren't there as her mama. So when SoGucci and her daughter was sitting down and they were discussing her pressing charges on Selena, which in some people's mind, rightfully so, but for me, SoGucci got a little bit too much of mouth for me to be pressing charges on people. Now, if she was a little humble and meek woman, and she wasn't disrespectful and flip off at the mouth, and then Selena would have went across her head with a glass, yes, baby, press those charges, lock her up. However, SoGucci talks a little too much for me. I don't like those type of people. Don't get up here, running your mouth, talking all this big boy talk, and then just say it's just talking. I'm not physical. I'm not violent. Now, I ain't advocating for the violence, but don't sit up here, run your mouth, and write a check that you can't cash. Don't do that. Just be quiet. Or if you're going to talk, then just talk and just don't be disrespectful. But when somebody go ahead and they're triggered and they getting on you, don't come and say, well, what was I supposed to do? I called the police and pressed charges because what was I supposed to do? Fight back. That's what you were supposed to do. Or you could have just left the situation alone. If Selena was being petty by asking her, you're not going to speak, you don't see me standing here, she could have just said, no, I don't see you standing there, and just walked off and just kept it pushing. No, she wanted to try to go for that lady juggler, and she wanted to try to be funny, and she tried to embarrass her, which I think she did, and then what happened. So, the whole Selena and Sanjay is jealous of us thing, they need to stop that. That don't need to be running the storyline, and JJ don't need to be placed in the middle by having to choose between his kids, his adult kids, and his wife, which is a terrible, pathetic excuse of a woman. I don't care what you say. You put your kids to the side just to pursue a man and raise his children and neglect your own. You are a sorry, deadbeat, poor, pathetic excuse of a woman. I'm done with SoGucci. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about was Latrice. Oh, Lord, Latrice. Young, pretty, popping. and could very well be in a tumultuous relationship. I'm not sure what's going on with Latrice and Cliff behind the scenes, but what I do know is that if I were her, I would not share any of my problems, my personal problems, with any of these women on this show. I don't think that they care for her too much to where she needs to be sharing her business with them, because for one, they're always talking trash about her behind her back, and then secondly, why come on camera to address these issues if you feel like I am being abused? Why address this on camera? Yes, this is a reality show, but some things are not meant to be shown or spoken of. And if that woman is being severely mistreated by her husband, and those women really cared, they would have taken the time out of their precious life, out of their precious day, and they would address that off camera. Don't get up here with these fake crocodile's tears crying with this girl because you say you think she's being mistreated. Help her. In the name of sisterhood. I hate when these shows have a group of women and then they just want to throw out sisterhood. These are not sisterhoods. These are not the type of sisterhoods I would want to be a part of. I don't want to be in a group of women who call themselves my friend but drag me, talk trash about me, try to turn my pain into their profit. That's no sisterhood. These women do not care about Latrice, and I think it's a lot stemming from, one, jealousy. Latrice is young, she's pretty, she's popping, she's getting the bag, and she seemed like she could be the happiest of the group, excluding the issue she's having with Cliff. Now, if that man putting his hands on her, his old need to be ashamed of himself. Old enough, look like he old enough to be the girl granddaddy. She don't need to be with you for one, but because you guys are together, she do love you. She is concerned about you and she care for you. You would think that he would cherish the woman that he has, but in my mind, I'm thinking that Cliff just may be one of them old school type of men. I had one. First boyfriend, first love. 15 years my senior. Soon as I moved in with him at 19, bop, 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 bop. Oh, I had to get that away from him. Baby, I had to go. That man wanted to know everywhere I went, who I was talking to, control who I talked to on the phone, because he had me a phone line on his plan. He checked my text messages, my call out, everything. Had to drive his car. Didn't pay no bills. I didn't pay no bills, but he controlled everything. And it got to the point to where I wanted my freedom, some independence. And it was hard, but it was worth it. Can't live up under somebody's thumb. And if Latrice is going through these things with her husband and he can't get it together, which I seriously doubt he would because he's stuck in his ways. He's of a certain age, a particular age, and it don't look like that man's going to change. However, if she is suffering from these things, I would hope that she would be able to get her some type of help and find someone that she could vent to that could give her some good direction and dialogue, and it will not be from anybody on this case because they really don't care for this woman. Ooh, Lord, I know it's going to be some things popping up in the blogs and the media about this. I'm going to look into this Cliff and Latrice situation a little bit more because I am heavily invested and interested in what they really got going on.